Hey there guys, welcome back to Magic TV. My name's Craig. It's Thursday, it's 9 o'clock. It's time for a Magic Stuff. And I'm back with another one of the 3 best trick series. And this week, I'm going to be talking about the 3 best tricks with pencils that you have never seen before. That's right, 3 best tricks with pencils that you've never seen before. And there's some amazing tricks with pencils. Obviously, there's, passing through and a whole bunch of stuff that people think of automatically. And pencils have been used in magic for years. When I was putting this together, I was researching some things with pencils, and there's some great ideas out there, some interesting downloads. I want to present to you 3 routines that I've been using my act for a very long time that you don't see them being used very much these days. And it's such a shame because all 3 of these routines are so old they're new and they all kill. And let's be honest, a pencil is a really organic thing to carry around with you. You have your pencil in your top pocket or in your jacket. You go into it, you take a pencil out. Everybody knows what a pencil is. You're ready to go anytime, anywhere. So I love magic with pencils, and I promise you, these 3 routines, you're probably going to want to learn them. So let's get straight into it. Let's have a look at the first trick with a pencil that you've probably never seen before. So the first trick with pencil that you've probably never seen before, number 1, we have the number 2 pencil by Mark Genest. Now, the number 2 pencil, I did this for years and years and years. I mean, this was one of my go-to things. I remember being at the IBM convention many years ago, probably about 15 years ago now. I was actually in the competition. I was there and I was hanging around a lot with Mike Sullivan, and I just started doing this. And I was showing him, and I had a load of magicians coming over that hadn't seen this before, and I was blowing them away. Now, I had like 3 sets of these, and over the course of the years, I've lost all 3 sets. And the last set I lost just before COVID. And I put a thing out on Facebook going, has anybody got any number 2 pencils? They were originally marketed through Magic Smith, but Magic Smith don't have them on their website anymore. When I interviewed Greg Wilson had a copy of the number 2 pencil in the shelf behind him, and he's like, no, you can't get them anymore. I can't find them anywhere. They are still available. There are similar versions that magic makers have brought out. I haven't seen theirs. I've been told about it. But there are similar versions that magic makers have brought out that achieve the same thing, I believe. So you might want to check Magic Makers out. That's somewhere you might want to look. I just did a post on Facebook, and I had a few people saying, I've got one. So check the selling sites, ask if people have got one secondhand. They are absolutely incredible. If you don't know what it is, it's basically a paddle trick. But it's a paddle trick that's just awesome and ends up with a card revelation. I'm going to perform it for you right now so you can see what it is, and then we'll talk about why it's so good. So Sarah, I want you to help me with this. Do you see what I have here?
Yeah.
I have a pencil.
Yeah.
Now, it's a number 2 pencil. Do you see the number 2 there?
Yeah.
That's why it's a number 2 pencil, because there's a number 2.
Okay.
But there's only one number 2, so really it should be a number 1 because there's no number 2. Or if there is the number 2, where's the number 1?
Oh, no, it's a 2, I can see.
Yeah, it's number 2. Yeah. Now, here's the thing, check this out. It doesn't actually mean number 2. It means no 2, as in no 2, because there really is no 2 on this pencil. If I want to bring it back, I just shake and it comes back. Look, there it is, the number 2. Is this making an impression on you? If I want to really make an impression on you, I do this, and now I get 2 number 2s. Now there's number 2, and there's number 2, that's 2 number 2s. Which means if we've got 2 number 2s, now I can do a trick. Watch the 2 number 2s. If I do this, I can pull both number 2s down to the end. Now, if you actually look here, you can see that both number 2s are down there, and I've got no 2s up there. If I just do this, I can make that number 2 go up there. I can make that number 2 up there. Both number 2s are back up there. Now I could do this as many times as I want to. I can have the number 2 go down there. Both number 2s go down there. I can flick them back up and have both number 2s go up here. I can even take one of those number 2s, make it disappear and just leave us with one number 2. Or I can actually take that number 2 and bring it back. I can do all that sort of stuff. But you've got to be very careful when you're doing this. Don't pull really hard and never snap your fingers. You see, if you snap your fingers, what's going to happen is that number 2 will fly down there, but the other number 2 will end up over there. Now you've got a number 2 down here, you've got a number 2 over here, and the only way to fix this, well, the problem is if I put this one up here, which I can do, when that one goes up there, that one stays down there. And if I take this one and move this one up here, I have to be very careful because that one at the top will go down there when that one over there is up there. It's a very difficult situation to be in. The only way to fix it is to grab it really hard and pull it. And when you do, you get it back up there, and hopefully that number two's ended up there as well. Although, to be honest, I prefer both number twos down at the razor side. Right there, I prefer it down by the razor because I don't want to get rid of the number two by sharpening the pencil. So now I've got both number twos down by the razor. Have you got any questions on this? Is this making any sense at all, or is this confusing you as much as it is me? It's probably confusing you, isn't it? Look, I tell you what, would you like to see the big finish, Sarah?
Sure.
Okay, so I've got this number two, we'll call this number two, number one. And we've got this number two here, we'll call this number two, number two. So we're going to do a big finish with one of the number twos. Would you like me to do the big finish with number two, number one, or number two, number two?
I don't know.
That's up to you. Number two, number one, or number two, number two.
two.
Number two, number two, which is the number two at the bottom, not the number two on the top. The number two on the bottom right there. In fact, I'll take the number two at the bottom and I'll make it the number two on the top. So now the number two is at the top and the number two, number one is at the bottom. Except it's not, because did you see what happened? What I just did right there is I made it so that that number two ended up just like that.
What does that say?
It says number two. I just made it a heck of a lot bigger.
Oh, okay.
If you missed it, hang on, let me just make it go back to size. You see, it was that size right there. They were both really small. And then what I did is I just stretched it out when you weren't looking. That's how it's done. Just don't tell anyone. That's the number two pencil. So that's the number two pencil. I absolutely love this, and I'm so glad I've managed to get my hands on another one. I'm not going to lose this. Absolutely not going to lose this. This is a great gigging trick. First of all, you got to think about this in two phases. So the first phase is the one where the number two jumps all over the place. And then the second phase is the card revelation. And obviously, from one to the other, you're doing a switch. So you're just putting the pencil away and you go, actually, let me show you one more thing. And that works really, really well. Now, the first section, the first phase of it, where the number two is bouncing all over the place, that's very similar to sort of the jumping arrow, but obviously applied to a pencil. What's nice about it is everybody knows what a number two pencil is. So when you bring it out and you show that you've got a number two at the end, it all absolutely makes sense. And I just love some of the lines in this routine. I love at the beginning where you say, a lot of people think it says number two. It doesn't. It means no two, as in, boom, no two. Look, the two's gone. And then you've got that moment where you say, look, let me make an impression on you. And then you've got two. And then you go into the most amazing moments where it flies up there, it goes back down, it flies up, it goes back down, it splits into two. It is proper eye candy. Now, it is a very close-up trick because you're talking about a small number two on a pencil. It's not the sort of thing that you could do at a banquet table. It's not the sort of thing you could do at a big restaurant table. You do it to a couple of people in a restaurant, that's great. You do it mix and mingle, it's absolutely great. It's also a wonderful thing to carry around with you. If you work in an office and maybe you're a part-time or a hobbyist magician and you work in an office, you have this thing in your on your desk, in your pencil and pen holder. Somebody walks into your office, you can go, well, let me show you something. Let me grab a pencil. It feels very organic. But even if you're out gigging and you pull a pencil out, it makes sense. A lot of people carry pens and pencils around with them. It's not like a weird object that you're bringing out. And I love having that organic moment there. So yeah, there's that big advantage. It looks really organic. It is really visual. It's an instant reset. If you don't want to do the second phase, you can have the pencil examined, because obviously what you can do is you can get it to the point where one number two is at one end, one number two is at the other end, and you can hand it out and have it examined. And it is a real pencil. It's just been printed. The pencil has been printed in a very special way. So it's examinable, no table required. The magic can happen in the spectator's hands. It's an instant reset. It's very different. I mean, there's so many plus points with this. But then you put it away, and on the offbeat, you go, hang on, you picked a card earlier on, didn't you? Let me try and do one more thing. And you can have a card revelation with that. Or, because they bought two versions out, or maybe it's the Magic Maker's version that has that card revelation, I don't know. But I know there were two versions. There was a version that had the number two change into a playing card, but then there's the version that I showed you where the number two grows. And that's the way that I always did it. But I have seen, and I'm sure I did own at one point, it changing into a card revelation. But what's nice is you just put the pen away, and on the offbeat, you go, actually, every trick needs a big finish. Let me show you a big finish. And you take the pen back out. You can now show it both sides again, and then you can go boom, and you can make that number two grow, and then immediately hand it out for examination. and you end up with this huge number 2 across the whole of the pencil. Everything's examinable, and it's a little bit like doing a coin routine and having a jumbo coin appear at the very end. It's kind of that moment where people go, what? That just doesn't make any sense. And then you just put that pencil away in your inside jacket pocket or wherever, or in your back pocket if you're just doing it casually, and you're reset, ready to go again. My God, what a great routine. What an awesome routine. I mean, it really is. I said at the beginning of this video that pencil magic is very organic at the best of times, which it is, but this is just taking it to an entirely new level. I absolutely love this. Now, you're going to have a scavenger hunt. Don't ask me in the comments. Well, you can ask me. But you're going to say, for people that say in the comments, where I can get a number 2 pencil from, search for it. Try Magic Makers, because apparently they've got their own version of it that's just as good. Haven't seen it, but apparently they have. And a lot of dealers carry Magic Maker stuff as wholesale items. And if that doesn't work, do what I did, go on the selling sites and just say, hey, I'm after a number 2 pencil. And thank me later, because once you start doing this, you'll never stop. Oh, and by the way, one more advantage of this as well, just in case you needed one more advantage, these things are very easy to paddle. It's not a difficult thing to paddle. You know, sometimes you hold some stuff and it's difficult to paddle. I remember having Daryl's colour changing knives. If anybody ever worked with Daryl's colour changing knives, they were an absolute pain to paddle, they were. I used to have a real nightmare paddling those. There's certain things that are really difficult to paddle. This paddles like an absolute dream. You get it right every single time. So there you go. That is the number 2 pencil. It's incredible. Let's now have a look at the second routine with a pencil that you've probably never seen before. So number 2, we are going to be looking at Smashed by Jay Sankey. Now, Smashed, in my opinion, is the best pencil through coin you'll ever see. And that's a big statement, because obviously the cigarette through coin was a staple of magicians' acts for years, because of the fact that less people smoke these days. There's less people that carry cigarettes around with them. The cigarette through coin has really kind of disappeared off the face of the planet. Less people do it. I know there's some restaurant workers that do it with a pencil, a crayon, but you don't see many people doing the cigarette through coin anymore. Well, this is a way of being able to do the cigarette through coin with a pencil, but it's done in a very different way. So if you know the original cigarette through coin, as popularized by Fay Presto, and I remember David Copperfield doing this many years ago. Tom Foolery, what's his name? Why do I not know his name? The cigarette eating act. I'll put it at the bottom. How I've forgotten his name, I don't know. Tom Foolery. It's not Tom Foolery. That was the name of his show bar. It's going to come to me. Anyway, I remember seeing him do it by putting a coin on a bottle and pushing the cigarette through the coin, and it goes into the bottle. Really great. Anyway, this is a way of doing that, but with a pencil and a coin. And it's the methodology is different, because anyone who knows the cigarette through coin, it's a very highly crafted gimmick that opens up, and it's all based on shells and a whole bunch of different stuff, and it's beautiful. Very well made coin. This is very different. It's very low tech in terms of how it works, and Jay has these. This is available from all good magic dealers, and you can get them in quarters, you can get them in Canadian money, you can get them in UK money, you can get them in all sorts of different currency. And I've got 2 or 3 of these because I absolutely love it. It comes with a pencil, it comes with a coin, and it allows you to do a cigarette style routine where you push a cigarette through a coin, but rather than doing the classic way of doing it, and with the classic way of doing it, there's no hole in the coin. This is kind of more of a karate coin style moment, in that you take the pencil, you show the coin, you stab the pencil through the coin, and then you show. And if you look at the coin, you can see that the pencil is smashed through it, and then you can take it off and you can hand it back to them, and the hole heals up. And a typical Jay, there's a whole bunch of different things that you can do on the download, different handlings, different ways of doing it. I do the very basic version. In fact, I'm going to show you that very basic version right now, just so you can see what I'm talking about. I have Sarah behind the camera. Hey, Sarah.
Hey.
And I told you I needed you to lend me a 10 pence during the course of this trick. So have you got the 10 pence?
I do. Here you go.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. So we've got a 10 pence and we've got a pencil. Do you see the pencil?
I do.
Do you see the 10 pence?
I do.
You're about to see a miracle. Are you ready for a miracle, Sarah?
Okay.
Watch the 10 pence. Watch the pencil. It looks like this. Once. Nothing happens on once. You've got to watch the middle right now. Once, twice, 3 times. Sarah, check that out. I can actually penetrate this coin with this pencil. If you have a look, you can actually see where the coin has ripped open as the pencil has penetrated. Well, the thing is, it's all an illusion. It's not real. It looks like that pencil has gone right through that coin. But you know, Sarah, you absolutely know it's impossible to push a pencil through a coin. Coins are solid. A pencil wouldn't make it through. And because we know this is an illusion, if I just take it off, you can see where the shards went through it, but that's the coin, that's the pencil, that is completely examinable, and that is smashed by Jay Sankey. So that's a performance of Smashed. I mean, that's the basic version. Jay goes through so many different handlings, but I love having that in my top pocket and just reaching in, taking a pencil, borrowing a coin, boom, pencil goes through, you show it very, very cleanly, you pull it off, you give it them back, you put the pencil away, and now you can do whatever you want to with that coin. You can make it disappear and have it go somewhere else. You can go onto another routine. It's a great opening routine. It's a great opener to do because it's so quick. It's so visual. It's like, watch, boom, show it. Angle proof, really great. Pull it off, give it them, job done. With the original cigarette through coin, that's not the case. It can be quite angly. But this is just a real worker. So let's talk about a few of the pros. So first of all, it's an instant reset. You do this whole thing, boom, you just put it away in your pocket, you reset, ready to go again. So it's an instant reset. Everything's examinable. You can examine the pencil. The pencil is not gimmicked. So at the end of the routine, you can examine the pencil. The coin is obviously examinable because it's a borrowed coin. It can be signed if you want it to be. You can examine the coin at the beginning. You can examine the coin at the end. You obviously give it them back at the end. If you want to, you can take it off. I mean, one of the handlings that Jay does is he takes it off and shows the hole in there, and then he heals the hole up. That works as well. Not the way that I do it, but you know, that's a way that I've seen other people do it, and it works really well. Like I say, no table required. Magic happens in the spectator's hands. Also very easy to do. The version that I just showed you there, all it is like a very basic version of Spellbound and sort of a Bobo switch. That's it, and you get this amazing moment. So it's very easy to do. And it looks different to anything else that's out there. It's a very shocking moment. Look, lend me your coin. Boom. Look, I've pushed it through there. That's amazing, isn't it? So there's a lot of pros with this. There's a lot of really great moments. And also, it's the sort of thing that plays to a really big audience. It's you know, we talked about passing through at the very, very beginning. And I think sometimes when you perform passing through, as good as it is, it doesn't play to a big audience. Well, that is so visible. You can see that, and your big banquet table. Can I borrow a coin? Boom. Have a look at that. Isn't that crazy? Give it them back. Anyway, my name's Craig. I'm the magician. It makes a great opener, really visible from a big audience, but also you can do it with people as close up as you want them to be because it's completely angle proof. So it's a great way to achieve that effect. And as I say, because it's low tech, there's not going to be things that are going to break or go wrong or elastic bands that are going to snap or anything like that. It's just a real workhorse of a routine, and you can get it in whatever currency you want to get it in. And as I said, because it's a Jay Sankey product, you've got a million different options in terms of routines that you can do with it and handlings and so on and so forth. So there you go. That's the second routine with a pencil that you might not have seen before. It comes with a pencil, it comes with a gimmick coin. It's highly, highly recommended. Now let's look at the final routine with a pencil that you've probably never seen before. Okay, so the final routine that you've probably never seen before, you are going to have to make up. And it's going to take you a lot of time and effort to make this up. I cheated. I didn't have to make it up. But this is probably the strongest routine you'll see. I've actually performed this in a magic competition and won. And that's how strong this is. Like, this is a killer routine. And I've shown it to magicians and nobody has ever seen it before. It's a Jay Sankey routine. Now, let me tell you the history behind this before I perform it for you. I think it's called Descendant, I can't remember. He originally put it on his Kaleidoscope DVD, which is the DVD which has got like a kaleidoscope front on it. And there's a whole bunch of different off-the-wall routines on there. And this is one of the routines. And he talks about how to make it up, and he tells you how to make it. And you could make it. I imagine it would be an absolute bitch to make, but you could make it. Off the back of the success of the DVD, Jay then brought out the pencil routine. I'm sure it's called Descendant, but I might be wrong. As a prop. So he actually handmade the pencil that you require to do this trick, and you could buy the pencil as a set. And I bought 3 of them because I'd already seen Kaleidoscope, and this routine for me was the standout routine on the project. And I'd already kind of made my mind up that I was going to try and make this up, and I was going to order a load of pencils in. So when Jay then said, hey, I've got these available for sale, I bit his hand off, and I was like, yeah, send them over, send them this way, send them this way. Now, I haven't seen them go up on sankymagic.com again since. That's not to say that they won't, but they haven't. You could email Jay, maybe he's got some stock, maybe if enough people email him, he'll do them again. But what this is what Paul Harris would call an incredible moment of strange. You show a pencil. You know what? I'm going to perform it for you. I'm going to perform it. I don't want to ruin it, so I'm going to perform it. I'm going to perform this for you. This is amazing. I absolutely love this. I'm going to do a full performance, and then we'll talk about the pros and the cons. I'm going to do this with Sarah. How are you doing, Sarah?
Okay.
Do you know what this is?
A pencil.
Very good. Well done. Yes, it is indeed a pencil. Now, it's your choice. Would you like to see a good trick or a miracle with this pencil?
A miracle.
Don't take your eyes off the pencil for a second, Sarah. Do not take your eyes off the pencil. If you take your eyes off the pencil, you will miss the big finish. The big finish is actually the beginning of the trick as well. Do you see the nib right there, the bit that you write with? Not the eraser end, but the nib end, yes?
Yeah.
If I do this, I want you to watch. I can actually take it and slide the nib down. Hang on a minute. Just say stop.
Stop.
Right there?
Yeah.
Watch this. If I just do this,
What?
I can actually make that nib right there stop in the middle of the pencil. That is an impossible object. I've moved the nib right to the middle of the pencil, and you can examine that and have a look at that and check it out. There you go. That's for you. That is called Descent by Jay Sankey. You've never seen that before, Sarah. What do you think?
Yeah, it's just weird.
It is weird, isn't it? It's Paul Harris would say it's a moment of strange. So that's the routine. I mean, I absolutely love that. I mean, talk about, as I say, Paul Harris would call this a moment of strange. It's a way of creating this incredible, impossible object that the audience can actually examine. And that moment where you show it and you just take the nib and you slide it down to the middle and you give it to them, it's incredible. I know how deceptive nibs moving is because I perform Pointless by Greg Wilson, which is a great routine in its own right. This came before Pointless, and you know, you've just got that one moment where you just bring it down and it stops in the middle, and then you give it them. Killer. Absolutely killer. Completely kills. Now, I use this a lot of the time, and I said I did this in a competition. What I did is I opened the competition with Smashed. So I took the pencil out, I showed a coin. I didn't even borrow a coin because I wanted it to be really snappy. So I took a coin, I took a pencil, I did some pen manipulation with the pencil and the coin, making the coin disappear, doing some rigmarole stuff. And then I put the pencil away for a second, made the coin reappear, took the pencil back out, did Smashed, showed that the pencil had gone through the coin, pulled it off, put the pencil away, took the coin, increased the size of it, made it a jumbo coin. Then I took the pencil back out and I took the nib down and I moved it down into the center and I just dropped that down on the table. And that was the first 2 minutes of my act. And it's like, wow. And I've done that exact same sequence in walk around as well. I think that the power of this is when you do it at the end of something else with a pencil, whatever that might be. It might be smashed, it might be something else. So you've seen this pencil, you've had a reason to have this pencil in play, as opposed to just bringing a pencil out to do this. You've had this pencil in play, you've done something with the pencil, and then you put it away for a second on the offbeat, you bring it back out and you do this and you hand it out and you let them see it. Incredible moment. If you can't find one from Sankey Magic, you're going to have to make your own. And if you buy the Kaleidoscope DVD, it does teach you how to make it. And I reckon, well, I mean, obviously Jay's made them because he made them up to the point that he was selling them. So they're obviously makeable. It's just that I'm terrible with arts and crafts, and I knew I wouldn't be able to make it and do as good a job as Jay. But I bet you there's somebody out there that's like got this DVD and they've bought it and they've made this trick up, and it's amazing. But yeah, I mean, let's look at the pros first of all. It's an almost instant reset. At the end, when you've shown this pencil, you've got a small gimmick that you just need to reattach, and then you put it in your pocket and you reset, ready to go again. It's completely angle proof. There's angles that are a problem from behind, but you're body blocking that, so it's not an issue. It can happen in the spectator's hands, so you can get them to hold onto the pencil as you do this, and they're left holding onto the pencil, which looks really good. You don't require a table. It's super visual. It's an incredible moment. It's as strong as a jumbo coin. So when you, I've talked about this on the channel many, many times. When you make a jumbo coin appear, all people want to do is look at that jumbo coin. Well, it's the same with this. When you do this with the pencil, all anybody wants to do is look at that pencil at that point. Like I say, it's a moment of strange. So there's not really any negatives. As I say, the only thing that I'd consider with this routine, if you're going to do it, is have another routine with a pencil. It could be passing through, it could be one of a million different routines. One of the routines that I've done on here, whatever you want to do, have a routine with a pencil so that when you go into this, you've got this becomes the kicker ending, as opposed to the routine is that you're going to move the nib. It's, hey, I've done my routine. Well, let me show you one last thing. This is going to freak you out. Boom. So there you go. That's Descendant. I've never seen another magician do this. So if you do it, please let me know in the comments. If you've got one, please let me know in the comments. I absolutely love this routine. So there you go, guys. That is 3 tricks with a pencil that you have probably never seen before. This has probably been one of my favorite of the 3 best trick series, because all 3 of these routines are very, very different. And I've got a feeling that maybe a few people do Smashed because it's still available in dealers, but it's been around for a long time now. People don't really look to search for it, but Smashed is absolutely amazing. I'm willing to bet the other 2 people haven't done for a very, very long time, but you can get them. They are out there. If you want to do Descendant, just get your hands on the Kaleidoscope DVD, which is available from SankyMagic.com. And you can learn it off there. You want to get the number 2 pencil, try Magic Makers, try Facebook selling sites. And as for Smashed, it's available in your local currency from either your favorite magic dealer or from SankyMagic.com. There you go. Let me know in the comments down below what you think if you do any of these routines. I'd like to hear from you. Also, if you do routines with pencils that I've not really thought of and I've not included, please let me know. I would love to hear from you as well. And also, don't forget, if you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below, like the video, and I'm going to be back again next Thursday with another magic stuff, and I'm going to be back tomorrow at 9 o'clock with a rant, and then at 6 o'clock we're going to have a magic live, and at 2 o'clock we're going to have a what we're going to have? We're going to have a shorts. But thanks very much for checking out the video. I really appreciate your support. Thank you very much. My name's Craig from Magic.